Well, 3 Premier League matches are still on today at the moment, but 19 games were cancelled across the English Football League yesterday due to COVID cases. We're joined now by the chairman of the League Two side, Tranmere Rovers, Mark Palios, who is also a former chief executive of the FA. Mark, great to have you on today this morning on Briefs Breakfast. In terms of the problem for football then, how wide is this?
Well, I think we just reflect the problem that's going on in the country at this point in time, because one of the major problems you've got, unlike on internationals where you can have a bubble, you can't really have a bio bubble around a football club, because the guys will go home, they'll mix with their parents and their children and so forth. So they're as exposed to the general situation as anybody else.
Go for it.
Cheers,
I just wonder, what would you do now if you were either in government or advising government about what they should do around football? Because particularly at this time of year, it's so important to so many people, isn't it, to get out and about, to go to the football. It's part of the annual ritual, and yet we hear all this alarming stuff from the scientists.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been in a position whereby people scrutinise publicly when I was at the FA. Yeah. And I just respect the fact that it's very difficult for these people who are sitting there on the one hand having the information, but not all the information. Therefore, they have to make a decision on incomplete information. How serious is this pandemic? And on the other hand, they're judged against the seriousness of this, which is people will die. And then you have the other guys who can look at the balance on this, which is a balance of the economic, the social issues, etc. And so you can see the tensions, and there is no right answer at this point in time. So you just have to respect that fact. And if you want my personal opinion, yes, I am a fan of vaccines because I'm not an epidemiologist, I'm not a clinician. But actually, I also understand the difficulties. If I look at ourselves as a club, which sort of, again, mirrors a lot of what other people have. Yesterday, we had a carol concert, and actually that was poorly attended. But actually, the game itself is, pre-Christmas, it's usually a low turnout. But actually, it was a good turnout. So, you saw the fact that it was really one of these things that was helping people. If you talk about the mental health of people that struggled under the pandemic, it was a focal point in our community. And so you have to respect that as well. And there's a balance in this, and nobody has the right answer.
That's what's difficult at the moment, isn't it? The EFL estimates, though, you mentioned the vaccines, that 25% of players don't intend to get a vaccine. And as you said, it's about respecting personal choice. That's way higher than the national average, though, isn't it? Why do you think that is?
Sorry, what was the percentage?
25% of EFL players don't intend to get a vaccine.
I'm not sure. It is.
I know you've spoken to all of them, but...
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know the facts on that, but I'm not sure that it's higher than the national average for people of that age group. And actually, if you look at that, I mean, I read an article recently that said actually it's the same as what's happening out. But you put footballers on a pedestal because, and you sometimes unfairly ascribe a lot of sort of almost as these guys should be role models for society. When actually, I think you need to just check that. And that as a principle should they be role models for society, or are they individuals who make a choice? And personally, at our club, I was talking to somebody yesterday and they said it was convenient. I don't know how many of our players are vaccinated. It's not about convenience. It's actually about respecting the medical information that you have about individuals. I did speak to our medical guys, and they're superb guys in terms of what they do, very professional. And I did try and find out who was vaccinated. And the answer came back, well, we'd rather not tell you, and I didn't press them. I have a simple philosophy in life. I get good people around me, give them a steer and give them the head, and they can get on with it. And so they come back. What we do is try and educate the guys as regards what we see.
Sure. Mark, when it comes to the financial side of things, with the games are being cancelled and moved around, how much does it impact an EFL club?
Yeah, and it depends on what you talk about in terms of an EFL club, because there's both ends of the scale.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And if you talk about a championship club, it's far different to, if you like, somebody in the lower leagues, where in the lower leagues the gate income is much more significant. But the reality is, if we, for example, I'll give you the figures from us. If we, for example, now adhere to the protocols, when we go away, it may cost us about an extra £2,500 a game. Extra hotels, extra travel, separate coaches, etc. If you talk about what happens when you go over the 10,000, and chance to be a fine thing with us at this point in time, but if you go over the 10, yeah, if we keep playing, no. So if we go over the 10,000, it probably would cost us. If people say, well, do you allow people in over 10,000? Well, actually, you just do the maths.
Just to explain, this is where you'd have to start doing the passports thing, isn't
absolutely,
it? And checking that people have been vaccinated.
And you'd probably decide to do it based on the economics, because it might cost us an extra £4,000 to do that. So, the extra gate to make that happen. So, the economics, it's not great, because Boxing Day is clearly a big part of the calendar in the English game, and it's great for us, and we would like to see that happen. But again, you have to respect the fact that if the word comes out that gatherings, although outdoors, are not to be done fine. I think the stepwise approach that we've seen is the best you can get, because we just don't know. We just don't know.
Yeah, still early days, isn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be such a shame if that Boxing Day is lost again, isn't it? It's such an amazing tradition.
Yeah,
it really is.
And
Full bellies and fuzzy heads on Boxing Day. It's football, it's great.
not the players, though.
No, they might be relieved. Yeah, thank you.
Speak for yourself, Nina.
I was.
Nice to see you, Mike. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks.